So let me just say that honestly, these characters are probably all of them really are probably like the top like 6 characters. There's probably like 1 or 2 characters you can consider in the grouping as well. So probably like top 10 characters for sure. All the characters you see on the screen right now. But don't worry about that. They're not in any order, by the way. That is not the point of today's video. Today's video is about the characters whose stock is rising. The characters like your purple hits or whoever. The best characters for the current meta of PvP. The characters that are doing things in their kit that have aged well or that should be used and considered on teams in high tiered PvP, anywhere upwards of rank 50 all the way obviously to rank 70 really, I guess. But more or less that's today's video topic, about the stock rising of characters and which characters are seeing not only just their stock rise, but why these characters are now improving. Some of these characters may shock you. I'm going to throw out one that's very relevant now, as he hasn't been relevant in a long time, and that is Purple Future Saga Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Yeah, that one that came out for the 2-year anniversary. Incredibly relevant character nowadays. So we're going to talk about all of that and more. Before we get to that though, we do have a word from today's video sponsors. If you're looking for another epic fantasy RPG experience, Darkness Rises is the game for you. In this visually stunning adventure RPG, you can explore the various levels of the Dark Dungeon while progressing your characters. And in the single player story mode, you get to hack and slash your way through tons of demons and hordes of monsters to ultimately put your skills to the test with the most epic boss fights you'll ever see. My personal favorite feature in Darkness Rises is the Soul Link, which allows you to seize control of monsters and pit them against your foes. And that's only one of the many awesome features in this game. In Darkness Rises, you'll enjoy not only beautifully immersive visuals, but with a riveting story, you'll also grow to love the world and the characters. So if all of that sounds amazing to you, you'll definitely want to check out the link in the description to get started with Darkness Rises today. So again, thank you so much for the sponsorship, and here we go, back to the video. Okay, so like I said, I want to highlight some characters because there are some really good characters in the current climate of the game that have a lot of utility that you guys should be using. Stay tuned because there are some honorable mentions that I will be bringing up throughout the video as well, outside of these characters. So we're going to start off with Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, probably one of the best best aging characters, because he actually is probably better now than he was a year ago when he came out, and it's not very often you can say something like that. He's incredibly relevant to the current climate slash meta of the game, the tag characters being in every match, Mono Purple being every other match you play in a high rank PvP scenario, things like that. Mono Purple's super oppressive and very tough to deal with, and he has a couple of things built into his kit that work very well. For one, his stats are still through the freaking roof a year later. He has good sustainability with also the ability to heal constantly, but being one of the only characters still to this day, actually there's probably like 7 or 8 probably total, but nonetheless though, being one of the main pioneers for this mechanic, nullifying special actions when changing cover. And not just the thing is, there's a handful of them that get it through like main ability or get it through only on their ultimate or whatever the case is, right? But he has it always, and that's incredible because it allows you to throw him out there whenever you want and get access to that incredibly powerful mechanic. I can't understate that enough. Powerful opponents are always going to be relevant. That's good. He has stacking damage. He has a knockback, so you also have some defensive utility there. He has anti-armor, so plus 100% versus blast armor. Admittedly, blast armor is not the most relevant thing right now in the moment. Incredibly good if you have it though. And then again, good sustainability. His green card does no switch, which is ridiculous. Restores his ki, gives him a strike, gives him 50% damage, cancels the enemy's buffs. Incredibly oppressive. Still one of the best green card effects in the game if you pull it off. And he has blast armor and nullify endurance on the ultimate. Again, was probably underrated on release, but it's not a problem because he's incredibly good today still a year later. We talk about full power Frieza. He's really good for some of the same reasons. These two are also really good for their element, even though Vegeta can be a green, or weak to green, strong versus yellow as a tag character, which is obviously different. But I can't stress enough that in high rank PvP, that tag switch character makes Mono Purple incredibly relevant. And the thing about that type of team is that you have all the Purple Z abilities and stuff like that, and with the leader slot, blah blah, you're not missing anything. They have a lot of HP if they put Tau there too. Like, Mono Purple is very oppressive. A lot of times he'll be ran with this Vegeta, who also is on my list because he actually got a nice resurgence due to his utility. Speaking of utility, Frieza has things like blast armor, that's pretty awesome. Also Dragon Ball control. Dragon Ball control is always going to be good in this game. Frieza, when he covers in, is able to destroy restore a Dragon Ball, so that's always going to be good. He has bonus versus Sun Family, but one of the main things in this kit is, since there's so many endurance characters, nullifying endurance anytime he does any action, because it's built into the passive, not on the ultimate, is an incredible effect. Example, they throw out their Sword of Hope Trunks to tank a rush, for example, and they don't know Frieza does this, and if the rush goes through and it's Frieza, obviously, Frieza will be killing that Trunks and ignoring their endurance. So, pretty crazy. It'll be on the tap shot, tap punch, whatever the case is. So, pretty crazy, man. Also, he can destroy 3 Dragon Balls when he enters the battlefield. That's pretty awesome. And then again, other utility like sustainability, restoring health, buffing allies. This all around like incredible character. A lot of things built into his kit that you're gonna want to definitely get access to. And he himself can't really take a hit too well, but that's fine because everything else in his kit is 100% worthwhile. We talk about Purple Hit here. Another character that last sentence I just gave this dude perfectly embodies. Can't take a hit very well, but very, very powerful kit. Still, honestly, in my opinion, one of the best offensive kits in the game. He's got the combination of everything you need. Damage, draw speed, even has built-in crits and stuff. Like, he's got a lot, but he has some of the best of both worlds. So his main ability gives him the ability to get the Gogeta effect. Nullify special actions when changing covers for 20 counts. So it's not always... Gogeta gets it 3 times for 10 counts, which is better than getting it 1 time for 20 counts, obviously, because there's a lot more utility and flexibility. He has sustained damage cut, upgrade here, whatever, that's good for more damage. But he also has the same effect as Frieza, the passive built-in Nullify Endurance. And then overall, just a bunch of damage, and he has a strike knockback. I didn't mention that Frieza also had a blast knockback. So you see these characters that have these combination of these effects, and you can really see what I'm valuing very highly, and how that works, right? He has blast armor on his blue and on his ult. Overall, again, another incredible character, and could be a sleeper. The only problem with him is that he's also purple, so it is what it is, but sleeper, one of the best characters. So the reason why this dude is here a little bit over, he didn't age into his kit to the same degree as this dude, because this dude's stats are through the roof, and this dude's about 1.5 years old almost. But the thing about him is he aged into his kit because, not because his damage is better or anything like that, not like he can hang stat-wise with the current characters, he can't. But what happens for him is the utility. I mentioned Dragon Ball Control being incredibly powerful. He reduces 3 of them. Still always going to be good. Buffs allies. It can't be canceled. I'll take that. And also restores health of Vegeta Clan and future members. Very, very relevant teams again. So that's pretty much everything you're looking for. And then outside of that, the offensive firepower, draw a card, restore key, that's good too. Buffing allies, these are good effects, but look how short his unique abilities are. They're just a couple of sentences, even compared to characters that came out recently. Look at this. This is literal paragraphs, like, versus a couple of sentences. So I can't really understate that enough. But Vegeta still has some good and fun effects in here, supporting effects and stuff. But the main thing is the utility that he picks up. Last but not least, out of my characters here, there are honorable mentions like Yellow Demon King Piccolo. Some of the same reasons hits on the list. He's on the list. He would be on the list as well. But honorable mention. So we'll talk about those in a little bit. Gogeta also aged into his kit really well, like the other Gogeta. However, was also aided by getting that unique equipment. That unique equipment is a massive swinger because I didn't really talk about it too much, but revivals are incredibly powerful, obviously. So you have a character like this dude with the ability to, with his unique equipment anyway, let's go ahead and read the effect. So when he defeats a character that and makes them revive, he restores himself by 20% and increases his Dragon Balls by 2. And if we pull up the equipment that he has, the access to this one, this is where it's crazy. So increases Dragon Balls by 2 as well, while also getting 50% damage. So you know what was funny is when revives came out, I was like, oh well, they're just rising rush control, you're never gonna throw them out there versus rushes or whatever, and that was the case for a while. This dude is like, okay, I'll rush your revival character and pick up 4 Dragon Balls. After 4 yeah, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 Dragon Balls afterwards. Incredible effect. Draw speed. He has a lot of neutrality built into his kit, a lot of sustainability. He has everything else. He has the UI Goku-esque cover change versus strikes and blasts. So overall, incredible character. Blast armor, just it's ridiculous. Aged into his kit very well because he was not the headliner you'd have thought he would be during the anniversary. So we're going to talk from here about some honorable mentions, and then we'll talk about some of the mentions that people sent me as well. This Rose has some of the things that we mentioned in this video earlier: Dragon Ball control, nullifying endurance built into the kit as opposed to just in the effect. So overall, pretty good. Yeah, it's right here. So he's a character on the list. So we have here, again, some more utility. Very good character. We'll definitely see a rise in usage as opposed to before. So let's talk about that effect here. While the enemy lands an effect, reduce their ki. When the enemy switches, gets vanish gauge. Also, when an enemy is defeated except by self-destruct, destroy all your enemy's cards. A lot of different debuffs in here. Just overall buff to allies damage 30%. Overall, just good utility. Knockback 2, very, very good powerhouse. He should definitely see a rise in usage. Obviously, the Trunks and Perfect Cell are very, very good characters. They don't really need to be on my list. Similarly, the Goku Vegeta tag character. Other good characters worth mention would be a character like Android 17. The reason why is because he inflicts sub counts on switches or on entry, like through his green card, blue card, whatever the case is. He has pseudo no switch all over, and his blue card is ridiculous. It'll do a lot of damage, and they will not be able to switch out. So if you have this dude out there, you better make sure that you are watching for when they could potentially switch to him, because they can bring him in off a switch directly into the blue card and probably one-shot your Goku and Vegeta. Very, very, very powerful unit. He honestly should have been on my 5 to mention in the very beginning. So like the thing about characters like Oob is a good character utility wise. However, the tag switch character makes this character kind of interesting to play against, because Vegeta can one-shot him with a blue card, and if you play that right, Oob is in a similar scenario where he's just kind of stuck and he'll rely on endurance, but Vegeta can just one-shot him with the blue card. So it is what it is, and that'll apply to a lot of characters, obviously. But these are the characters that you definitely should be considering, like also Yellow Demon King Piccolo as well, the stealing of Dragon Balls, the endurance effect nullification, stuff like that. Those are the effects that I'm valuing very highly for the current climate / meta of PvP in the game and the spot that we're in. Now, also your other characters are still going to be good, like, you know, your Super Saiyan Blue Goku is still going to do what you need him to do. Frieza, Super Vegeta, your Zenkai characters or modern sparking characters like God Topo are still going to do what you need them to do, right? They're still very powerful characters. Revival Gohan, still really good. Same with LFSS2, even though I don't think LFSS2 is the best character in the game anymore. These are still very powerful characters, and they're going to do what you need them to do. But more or less talking about the ones that are trending up, last honorable mention would be this Vegeta, also because of the fact that he has here for reducing enemies' Dragon Balls by 2, has the neutrality built in, good utility overall, very powerful character too. So that's more or less what I had to say. So from here, we're going to transition to what some of the other people are saying. All right, so here we have a post that I put out in which I asked you guys what your opinions are on the topic, and this was a few days ago, so if you guys saw this, thank you for replying, and if you didn't, hopefully you guys see the next one. Anyways, I said I was working on a video, and I already knew who I wanted, but was asking for some opinions on some characters, so let's go ahead and see what the people say. I love using Rose, but this character is crap. Horrible ki recovery, takes so much damage, can't do damage. So yeah, his damage isn't great. Ki recovery, I mean, I can't really comment on that too much. I don't really remember, but if he says that's the case, probably is. Gogeta Blue fell off for me a while ago, even though he was good, but his nullification of cover changes made him relevant again. I talked about Gogeta Blue earlier. Another Gogeta Blue comment here. And Jiren, I assume he's talking about the Green Jiren, who also has something similar built in his kit. The featured boost mechanic was a huge mistake. Now we don't know how good a character is until 2 seasons later. Yeah, it's probably true. I pointed that out on Twitter, and I even pointed out, actually, ironically, in my first showcase video after the boost system went live. I think it was Goku and Vegeta's video. And the first thing I said at the end of the video was, wait a minute, are these characters boosted? Because I didn't realize on the video, and I was at the video, I was like, at the end, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like it. I do not like it because this comment is true. You don't know, and it's like 20% or 15%. These numbers don't seem high, but at higher star levels, you know, it's probably just overkill. So I don't love it. And also, comparatively, I don't think that the boost is good enough for the characters that are in like Z tier, because those are horrible characters that are years and years old. Like, those characters are really, really bad. 30 or 40, whatever the number is just not good enough. They need like 60 to even be considered, because you're giving them an extra increase in stats, but like their kits are still horrible. So like, I don't know. So yeah. Since Vegeta Evolution released, many people took Gogeta Blue out from the God Key team. And Cooler Movie Goku has two replaced him in many people's hearts in movies, but his anti-cover makes him rise to number 1 again. I think that all three of those yellow characters are really good options for the record. I really like that Cooler Movie Goku. He has a lot of utility. Probably is the worst of the three, but obviously, but I like him a lot. Zenkai Blue Piccolo, underrated. I think he's B tier, hits like a truck, extra damage against future and androids. That's a good extra perk to have, which there's pretty healthy amount of those characters in PvP. Also being run next to other powerful regen units helps. Purple Demon King Piccolo is a really good character. Blast regen is very powerful. Blue Purple could see relevance, but I just can't justify using that Piccolo over Kid Buu in the scenario that you own everything. That Piccolo does have some good stuff in his kit, like neutrality, but I personally would probably not recommend him. But if he says he likes him, that's good. God Topo sniping out Gogeta and Goku Vegeta is quite good. That's another thing earlier. I forgot to mention this when I mentioned 17, and I talked about how 17 has the ability to sub in and kill your Goku and Vegeta. Well, guess what? God Topo has the exact same ability. God Topo has the ability to enter and inflict you with debuffs, and Goku and Vegeta are also weak to green characters when Vegeta is on the battlefield. It's the exact same scenario. So God Topo is incredibly good in the current climate. I totally should have mentioned him earlier. I kind of gave him a shout out, but didn't really talk about it. Yellow Demon King Piccolo and Full Power Frieza's LF moved up quite a bit. Gogeta Blue also a good counter to Mono Purple. Yep, these are some of the same characters I talked about. No, he's not. I would say that Cooler Movie Goku is way better, actually. He's saying that actually he thinks Cooler Movie Goku is a better current counter than Gogeta Blue in the meta. Okay, interesting. Gotta say, top 3 that I've seen a stock up in PvP have got to be those Zenkai abilities. I've seen countless players using Zenkai abilities to buff units like the new Goku Vegeta. Another stock up are green, yellow Saiyan trio of Gogeta, SS4, LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Angel Vegeta. I don't know so much about the stock rising for Zenkai abilities. I don't think that's really the case. Even on Mono Purple, for example, I don't really think that's the case. I think it is what it is and always was, really. But I will throw a nod to green yellow Saiyans. This is another team that is in the meta quite a decent bit. That LFSS3 Goku and Angel Vegeta, they were designed to be perfect partners to each other. They pair incredibly well. You throw Gogeta in that mix with his unique equip, and now you've got a real problem. You've got a real problem, dude. And you have full Z abilities, everything like that, because of leader slot. You've got a real problem. That team is tough to deal with. It really is tough to deal with. And if you're using Goku and Vegeta, you've got a problem on your hands, especially because they can just match you no matter what. So it's a very good trio. Gogeta SS4 feels more and more powerful by the day. Also merge Zamasu and Full Power Frieza. Yes, Full Power Frieza for me, anti-endurance, AoE special, comboable green card, and blast armor on strikes. All that's missing is revival or endurance unit to run alongside him. Problem solved. If LF Full Power Frieza, I feel he's the best meta counter currently. A lot of people giving shoutouts to Full Power Frieza. SS4 Gogeta kind of rose even more with the release of Goku and Vegeta. Really, all greens and yellows did, comparatively, for the record. Matches up well for the most part, almost always takes type neutral damage from them, can deal type neutral damage to Goku, has type advantage on Vegeta on top of his ridiculous utilities. Again, Gogeta SS4 was on my list for a reason. Very, very relevant character, especially with the introduction of his equip. You love to see it. Somebody asked me to play that Majin Vegeta in a video, maybe. LF Future Gohan is the one I see everywhere. LF Future Gohan, so when I talked about how your characters that will still function the same way as they always did, he was one that came to mind. He's still incredibly annoying and incredibly good. And he's a character that I probably see the most, like, you know, people say about him the most, like, oh, he's overrated or he's underrated. He's the one that is in that grouping the most. He's either really overrated or really underrated. It's crazy to see. So let me explain. His damage is okay. His damage scales really, really well. He has that annoying blast cover. He also has the ability to destroy your cards on cover. Also, the falling effects occur after the enemy's attack is over. Plus 25% of damage inflicted by allies for 20 counts. You cannot sleep on this. Easily forgettable effect. Also reduces damage received by 30%. Can't be canceled one time. So anytime he's hit with anything, he buffs allies and he gets a one-time extra 30% cut. He has endurance built into his kit. His strike cards restore his vanish gauge. Pretty crazy effect. Also applies the following effects itself. If there's a defeated battle member, he automatically draws a green card. and then also can go neutral. He's got everything in his kit. There's another ally buff here. I didn't even remember that one. He's got draw speed. He's got key gain on the main, admittedly, but draws the ultimate. Massive damage on the blue card, plus damage. Seals your strike cards. Restores key. Nullifies his own, downgrades and conditions. More cut. More damage. Nullifies endurance with blast armor. Just like, I don't get why people would say he's overrated. Like, I'll say at a low star count, like any other character probably, he's not all that impressive. But at a high star count, this dude is a menace. And he's one of the best tanks in the game. He is a menace. Really good character. Matches sure have gotten unpredictable. Like, you can get 1v3'd or you can 1v3 at any point with this new batch of characters. This is accurate. Purple Vegeta, he's talking about this one, I imagine. Full power freeze is trending towards elite status, even though his ult hits like wet tissue. He doesn't like full power freeze's ultimate. Evolution Vegeta is going up, as well as Gogeta SS4. Okay. It might be mainly due to the boost in PvP, but I feel like Vegeta fam as a whole has gotten way better. Sure, Goku Vegeta played a big part in that, but the team itself has been putting in work for me, specifically my transforming Green Trunks. Green Trunks transforming. Oh, the Kid Trunks. Well, I mean, it's not only the boost system. They picked up two very powerful characters. Like, they just got two LFs. So it's not surprising, right? Our good old friend Purple Hit. Shout out to Yellow Hit. Also a very powerful character. If he gets a Zenkai, then he's going to be back in the meta. Bergamo's pretty good as a leader. Yes, he is. There's a Yellow Hit mentioned right here, actually. Demon King Piccolo, Frieza, and Rose are obvious ones. Yellow 17, I'm seeing a lot more as well. Strangely, Purple Future Vegeta has seen a massive increase as well. I talked about that a couple of times. He's very relevant again. On a serious note, I think Yellow Hit has some can see some play. Nullifies endurance, also being yellow element. So like, he's, I guess, kind of like a weaker version of this character. That's what I would call him, like a watered down, poor man's version of that character. Yellow Broly is pretty good with the boost and anti-sun fam. Maju stock has risen even more because of Mono Purple, him being on GT since. So GT is also a very good meta counter team, by the way, with SS. Any team with SS4 Gogeta, actually not even that. Any team with a green and yellow is automatically very good in the current meta of high tier PvP, because so many of the matches are with the Goku Vegeta duo. Like, every match, if not every match, it's like 3 out of 5 matches at least, right? And out of those 5 matches, probably 2 of them in high tier PvP at least are mono purple teams, right? You may think having a green versus that team is bad until you see that Vegeta's weak against green types, right? So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So GT, he talked about here. Oob is good. He is good in the meta. It's just I'm apprehensive about him and other yellows, for the record, because Vegeta freaking one-shots pretty much all the yellows in the game. So it's not just Oob. Oob's still incredible. Purple Blue Vegeta, again, another mention for him. Value went up. Rose as well. Mono Purple is an annoying team because of him. Yep. Yellow full power freeze is so annoying to fight in PvP with the endurance nullifying and blast armor on the greens and strikes. I haven't even run into him once since he came out. Yeah, he's not very common. I think he's underrated. I mentioned him. He has some of the same things as Frieza. I feel like endurance is better than revival, at least at this point. Seen a lot of Majub lately. He's become really valuable because of his endurance. Again, endurance is the name of the game. That's why I put so much value on characters that not only can nullify it, but can do it through passive means or whatever the case is. That's the key point. That's why get out of here. That's why I put so much value in that. Purple Vegeta reference. Gogeta Blue. Father Son coming out, his value is going down. Yes, it is. He is no longer the best character in the game. That doesn't mean he's not like top 3, which he's still incredibly good. Broly, Yellow Broly is trending up. That's pretty much it. Gogeta Blue is important in the meta. So that'll wrap this video up and give you guys a little bit of insight into the characters you should be considering using for today's current climate of the game. The new 17 and 18, yeah, they're both really good. Hidden gem is Yajirobe. Yajirobe's not bad. Yellow King Piccolo, Yellow Full Power Frieza, Gogeta Blue, yeah. So these are characters you guys should be considering. There's probably more that we haven't even mentioned in this video, so let me know in the comments down below some other characters that we haven't mentioned that are incredibly good. Is it somebody like Launch, who is actually good in the meta? Like, the main ability she has, reducing Dragon Balls by 3 on command, is pretty powerful effect. You know, there are some other characters in this mix that are not the most obvious ones, like LFS3. I didn't feel like he needed to be mentioned because he's incredibly obvious, one of the top characters in the game. Let me know. Anyway, so if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one.